And I was like, settle down, Mom. It'll be done soon. It's just part of the yearly, But but yeah, we've all had a lot of that this week. Everybody's had celebrations they went to. As I referred to earlier, we had the celebration on Wednesday, which was a lot of fun. So it's something that we do every week, or not every week, every year, to just to remember the country we have that we've been blessed with, that God has given to us with it's a 200 and some years old now, and that's probably actually pretty young in the big scheme of things for a country, if you look at the history of the world and all the other countries and everything. But it is indeed a blessing from God that He has given us such a great place to live, and we'll kind of look at some of those things through what I've got together here, and I just want to kind of compare it to. He's given us this in this age, but I just kind of compare that a little bit to what's coming in the next age. What kind of blessings do we have in store for us in the coming age, as far as the freedoms from God and those type of things. So, but my title is The Ultimate Freedom today, and like I said, we celebrate Independence Day each year, the birth of this nation, and we just wanted, as believers in Christ, we know that our political freedom is a gift from God, and our spiritual freedom in Christ is also a gift from God. So they are two that are similar, but they're not exactly the same. But we'll kind of look at that a little bit. One of the major differences, obviously, one is somewhat temporary, and the other one will be eternal. So that's very comforting. I'd like to take a second first, though, if any veterans in here, raise your hand. And if you'd like to, I'd like you to just walk on up here if you're comfortable. If you don't want to, that's all right. But I just want to give you some recognition. Is Tim here? Tim's not here today, is he? I know he is too. But I just want to give you a virtual handshake. I appreciate everything that you've done, and any others that were. If you guys have people in your family that are veterans and stuff, it's just we were just talking about what the celebration of this country and what so many people have given their lives and limbs and. I have another friend that I used to work with. He's 100% there, but his mind, there are times you can tell it kind of works on him a little bit. We were driving in Bartlesville, Oklahoma years ago. I remember one time we were just riding together for work, and just out there kind of west of where all the oil refineries are and stuff. And suddenly he just started acting really strange, and the landscape kind of changed. I don't know if it had been from the refineries and stuff, but it looked almost deserty a little bit, just kind of different. And he just kind of shook, and he said, "Man, this place just gives me chills. It looks just like in the middle of Vietnam." And you tell he was kind of having a little issue a little bit. And I was like, but and a lot of times you don't know whether to kind of pursue and ask him and say, or just kind of back off and leave him alone. But of course, everybody's different. But anyway, thank you so much to all those. And if you're online, if you've done it, thank you as well. So I appreciate that. So. The book of Romans 13, going to go 1 and 2 here. It's every person is to be in subjection to the governing authorities, for there is no authority except from God, and those which exist are established by God. Therefore, whoever resists authority has opposed the ordinance of God, and they who have opposed will receive condemnation upon themselves. And it's just like, how many in this room like to pay taxes? I mean, it's nobody likes to, but it's a necessary thing. If nobody ever paid any taxes, you would drive on roads that were terrible. You'd have to have a 4-wheel drive to get around. That's just the tip of the iceberg. It's something that everybody should do to contribute their part to keep things in decent shape. It just all that stuff is from the authorities. It's there's a lot of people. You hear people say, "Well, I'm not paying taxes," or "I'm going to cheat this so I don't have to pay as much," or whatever. Well, it's like, well. Ultimately, this is saying that God has set these rules up, whether it's the leaders of your country or the rules of the country. You may not like them or agree with them 100% of the time, but He's ultimately setting those up, and He may tear them down pretty soon, or He may set them up even in a worse way that you don't like. But ultimately, you need to go by the rules to make God happy. You're not worried about making the leaders happy so much. It's God we're wanting to make happy. And that kind of goes back to, Leroy and others who have served. There are a lot of people who have voluntarily done that, and a lot of people who did that because they were told they had to do that, and that's obeying God too. Your country said you need to do this, so you're obeying the country which God has set up and given you the rules to. So that's a credit to them for